Hi guys, I don't know if you know who I am, but my name is Rachel, and welcome back to my YouTube video. But today I'm going to be talking about a really popular story that that I mean, so basically what I'm going to be talking about is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'm going to be talking about basically like what actually happened in real life, like his life story and like how um stuff like that, and where he was from, and like all that stuff. So yes, so I'm going to look up on my computer to see what I can find for you guys. Sorry guys, I'm still looking it up for you to see what I can find, because I want to give you as much as possible information as I can. Okay. Okay, so it looks like I came up to on this website of nope. Okay, this is not it. Sorry guys. Okay, so I think I finally found it. Okay. Okay. So, so this says right here, the true story that inspired Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the movie. Now later, I'm going to show you, a picture of what the real killer, what he looks like in the one in the movie, like a side by side kind of thing, so you guys can know, and to know and what is it and what they look like. So, okay, so while Leatherface remains a fictional character, the true story of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is chilling based on real events, lending credence to the aura of fear that the film still embodies. The ironic slasher, sorry guys, uh, the ironic slasher is still considered one of the most influential horror movies of all time, directed by horror legend Tobe Hopper for a major budget. The the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is also credited with breaking new ground for the genre, including using power tools as murder weapons and the ominous characterizations of using a large hulking faceless figure as a character. So I'm gonna say this right now for you guys who don't know about this or who never watched a movie. Like, he's always wearing a mask, and I think that's mainly because um he doesn't want to get trouble. Like, he doesn't want to get in trouble, or he just doesn't want people knowing that it's him doing it, because yeah. um So, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre follows a young woman named Sally and her brother as they travel to an old family home in Texas with a few friends. They run out of gas on their way, so they stop at a nearby house for some assistance, despite an anonymous warning from a hitchhiker. The house, incidentally, is owned by a family of crazed, vicious cannibals. Now, I actually did not know that his family was, I mean, they were cannibals. I mean, I knew his family was like crazy, but I didn't know to that extent, if that makes sense. Um, so vicious cannibals in particular housing, um, the Texas Chainsaw wielding slasher Leatherface. The giant madman then embarks on a bloody spree, killing Sally's entire troop as she is held hostage inside the home. Okay, so okay, so this says Texas Chainsaw Massacre true story explained. Okay, so viewers of the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre can be forgiven for walking away from the iconic horror thinking that the film is based on true events due to the opening narration, which states that the massacre is one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals, I guess, of American history. The decision was a deliberate ploy by director Hopper Design as a marketing tactic to attract a wider audience through campfire style horror tales. He also wanted the misleading narrated information to respond to culture and political discussions involving the government's deceit towards the general public during the 1970s. Despite the film, despite the film's institution that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a true story and the events actually happened, there are sheds of truth within the movie, as most legends. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre conceptually was born from the shocking true crimes emerging in a post-war America in tandem with the rise of sensationalist, I guess, nationwide news cycles. Hooper, Hopper, either one, recalls seeing convicted serial killer Elmer Wayne Henley's arrest and shocking acts plastered over television set in San Antonio, from which he drew inspiration from the psychotic family.
Okay, baby, this is it. In this briefcase, I carry actual scientific facts,
Okay, sorry guys. This website's not giving enough information as I thought, so I'm gonna keep looking.
million years old. It's the only possibility.
Sorry guys for the waiting. Oh, okay, so I think I finally found. Okay, so his real name was Ed Gein, I think. Okay, he was born August 27th of 1906 in Wisconsin. Um, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to find. Okay, so Gein is full Edward Theodore Gein, also called the Butcher of Plainfield, born August 27th, 1906, Plainfield, Wisconsin. He died in 1984 of July 26th. Um, American serial killer who gruesome crimes gained worldwide notoriety, I guess that's how you say it, and inspired numerous books and horror films. Okay, so Gene endured he had a difficult childhood. His father was an alcoholic and his mother was verbally abusive towards him. Gene nevertheless idolized her, a fact that apparently concerned his elder brother Henry, who occasionally confronted her in Gene's presence. In 1944, Henry died in mysterious circumstances during a fire near the family's farm in Plainfield. Although Gene reported his brother missing to the police, he was able to lead them directly to the burned body when they arrived. Um, Despite the bruises discovered on the victim's head, the the death was ruled as an accident. The death of Gene's mother in 1945 left him a virtual hermit. I don't know what that means. In subsequent years, Gene cordoned off the areas of the house that his mother had used most frequently, preserving preserving them as something of a shrine. Gene attracted the attention of the police in 1957 when a hardware store owner, sorry guys, named Bernice Warden went missing. Gene had been seen with her shortly before her disappearance, and when the law enforcement officials visited his farm, they found her body. Um, she had been fatally shot and decapitated. Sorry, guys. Subsequent examinations of his home showed that he had um, systematically robbed graves and collected body parts, which he used to make household items like his mask and clothing. Um, Also discovered on the property was the head of Mary Hogan, a tavern operator who had disappeared in 1954. In 1958, Gene's House of Horrors was destroyed by the fire, the origins of which remain unclear. Gene admitted to killing the two women, both of whom allegedly resembled his mother, but pled not guilty by reason of insanity. In in late 1957, he was deemed unfit for trial and was subsequently confined in various um, psychiatric institutions. In 1968, however, after it was determined that he could participate in his own defense, Gene was put on trial and he was found guilty of killing Warden, reportedly due to financial reasons. Prosecutors only tried one murder, but then was deemed insane at the time of the crime. He returned to a mental hospital where he remained until his death in 1984. Okay, so sorry guys. So that's all I can find on this website, but I'm gonna see if I can find um more information for you guys. Actually, Um, but I think that's all that I can find. But I did kind of want to talk also about another story, which is Jack the Ripper.
Sure.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you guys about two stories. I know usually my videos I talk about one thing, but I figured this would be kind of cool to talk about. So yes. Okay, so Jack the Ripper was hold on, let me go back. Sorry guys. Okay. Now I think I'm getting somewhere.
That was 10 blocks from here, and the woman was walking alone at night. I would never do that.
Okay, so Jack the Ripper terrorized London in 1888, killing at least 5 women and mutilating their bodies in an unusual manner, indicating that the killer had a substantial, sorry guys, I think that's how you say that word, knowledge of human anatomy. The culprit was never captured or even identified, and Jack the Ripper remains one of England's and the world's most infamous criminals. All 5 killings attributed to Jack the Ripper took place within a mile of each other, in or near the Whitechapel district of London's East. From August 7th to September 10th, 1888, several other murders occurring around that time period have also been investigated as the work of Leather Apron, another nickname given to the murderer. A number of letters were allegedly sent by the killer to the London Metropolitan Police Service, often known as Scotland Yard, taunting officers about his gruesome activities and speculating on murders to come. The moniker Jack the Ripper originates from a letter which may have been a hoax published at the time of these attacks. Despite countless investigations claiming definitive evidence of the brutal killer's identity, his or her name and motive are still unknown. Various theories about Jack the Ripper's identity have been produced over the past several decades. Sorry, guys. Ooh. Which includes claims accusing the famous Victorian painter Walker Sickert, a Polish migrant, I guess. Sorry, guys, my cat. Hi, Mercy. Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, so, which includes claims, accusing the famous Victorian painter Walter Sickert, a Polish migrant, and even the grandson of Queen Victoria. Since 1888, more than 100 suspects have been named, contributing to widespread folklore and ghoulish entertainment surrounding the mystery. In the late 1800s, London's East End was a place that was viewed by citizens was either compassion or utter con- contempt, despite being an area where skilled immigrants, mainly Jews and Russians, um, came to begin a new life and start businesses. The district was notorious for a squalor, violence, and crime. Prostitution was only illegal if the practice was caused a public disturbance. And thousands of brothels, I don't know what that means, in low rent lodging houses. Okay. So at the time, the death or murder of a working girl was rarely reported in the press or discussed within polite society. The reality was that the ladies of the night were suspected to physical attacks, which sometimes resulted in death. Among these common violent crimes was the attack of English Emma Smith, who was beaten and I don't want to put that in there because it's kind of who later died of don't know how to say that word, is remembered as one of many unfortunate female victims who were killed by gangs demanding protection money. However, the series of killings that began in August 1888 stood out from other violent crime of the time. Marked by sadistic butchery, they suggested a mind more sociopathic and hateful than most citizens could comprehend. Jack the Ripper didn't just snuff out life with a knife, he mutilated and disposed women, removing organs such as kidneys and uteruses, and his crime seemed to portray an abhorrence for the entire female gender. Jack the Ripper's murders suddenly stopped in the fall of 1888, but London citizens continued to demand answers that would not come even more than a century later. The ongoing case, which has spawned an industry of books, films, TV series, and historical tours, has met with a number of hindrances, including lack of evidence, a game of misinformation and false testimony, and tight regulations by the Scotland Yard. Jack the Ripper has been the topic of news stories for more than 120 years later and will likely continue to be for decades to come. More recently, in 2011, British detective Trevor Marriott, who has long been investigating Jack the Ripper murders, made headlines when he was denied access to uncensored documents surrounding the case by the Metropolitan Police. Um, According to a 2011 ABC's news article, London officers had refused to give Marriott the files because they included. Sorry, guys. They included protected information about police informants, and that handing over the documents could impede on the possibility of future testimony by modern day informants. Okay, so um so I wouldn't say the stories are similar. Well, actually, maybe, I don't know. But I was gonna look up Ed Jack the Ripper, sorry. I'm off topic here. Jack the Ripper's family. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so okay, so I was gonna try to see if I can find anything about his family. Um, Never mind. Okay, so I can't find anything on this website, but I'll look on another one. Oh, okay, I think I'm getting somewhere now. Okay, so sorry guys for the waiting. Um, yeah, sorry guys, I'm still looking.
Sorry for the daily talent face. But it's gone now. You're all right.
Okay, well, since I can't find that, I guess I'll just talk about, Jack the Ripper's suspects. Okay. Okay, so the first suspect was Aaron, Kosminski. Second one was George Chapman. Third one was Thomas Cutbush. Um, fifth one was Dr. Francis Tumbley. Um, the other one is James Maybrick. The other one is Walter Stickert. And then Charles Cross. Okay. So those are the list of suspects. Because back then no one knew like his identity. So I was gonna try to see if I can find any more information.
That's the craziest typing test I've ever seen.
Oh, so to this day, people don't know who Jack the Ripper is. Like, the name is like unknown.
I can't get to
I don't know if this is true or not, but this says researchers says they finally unmasked Jack the Ripper, the infamous serial killer who terrorized London in the late 1800s. A forensic investigation published in journal of Forensic Sciences have identified the killer as Aaron Konminski, a 23-year-old Polish barber and prime suspect at the time. But that was one of the list suspects, so as today, people still don't know who the actual Jack the Ripper is. Okay, so this is the theory for Ed Gein, Texas massacre. So the theory is that Gein's childhood trauma, rooted from his mother precipitation of women other than her as vessels of sin. Since he took his mother's teachings at face value, he never realized the extent of her control and depraved influence over him, eventually leading to his outbursts of violent behavior. Now, this theory is basically trying to say, like, the reason why he ended up doing these terrible things, is because of his childhood trauma. So, yeah. Okay, so anyway, so that is it for today's video, guys. So I will see you guys later.
Lived in terror. A killer stalked the streets, horribly mutilating prostitutes. He was never caught, and the legend of Jack the Ripper was born. His identity has remained a mystery ever since. But by piecing together the missing evidence, we can at last reveal his name. Incredibly, the Ripper was a man who appeared in official reports, yet somehow evaded suspicion. This investigation discovers how the killer was caught red-handed, yet talked his way past the police. For 120 years, Jack the Ripper has been hiding in plain sight. For Krister Holmgren, the breakthrough lay in the details of
Dancer for so